And the big story right now, of course, it's Oscar Day, and we're bringing you all the latest from there. Arun also joins me in studio to get you the latest and the breaking news, the big news right now. Elephant Whisperers has won the Oscar in the documentary category, has won Best Documentary Short Subject. It's directed by Kartiki, Gonsalves and produced by Guneet, Monga, who's already got an Oscar under her belt, isn't it, Arun? And now a second Oscar for this film. It's a beautiful film about an orphan baby elephant brought up by a tribal couple, and now it's wonderful to have the spotlight on that and for this Oscar win.
Well, this was the first time an Indian production house, has actually won an Oscar, and there you have a picture of Guneet Monga. She's also talked about it, that how historic this moment is for her, because this is the first ever Oscar for an Indian production. And then you also had two women there, you know, representing India. There's Kartiki Gonsalves, who's directed the film, and Guneet Monga, who heads Sikha Entertainment, and she's produced the film. Of course, she has experience of Oscars. She's won already a 4 period in the past, and you know, Gargi, this also taps into a very special documentary market of our country. There are so many stories, and the way we tell our stories. And now this one is a story of a tribal couple, and it goes to say how important is it to really collaborate with the wildlife. And you know, when we talk about man and nature coming together, so that's what the film really talks about. And while she was talking about this special nomination, and she's wrote a special message for Kartiki as well, she says this is the first time 2 women are nominated from India, and this is the first time a film on an indigenous community from India is nominated. So, you know, representation and the way the diversity is also shown is prolific, Gargi.
That's right. So that is already some great news coming from the Oscars. There was some, we lost out in one category, again, a documentary category for All That Breathes. But again, it was wonderful to have been an Indian documentary to be nominated, and that really puts again the spotlight on that. So lost out in that category. Still waiting to hear about Best Original Song, and for that Naatu Naatu from the film RRR is nominated, and there was the performance on stage as well. So let's just run you through all that's happened. An Oscar for the Elephant Whisperers. You had Naatu Naatu being performed on stage, introduced by Deepika Padukone, who looked absolutely gorgeous, and she said,
counting all the good reasons
yes,
to watch the Oscars.
And she said that if you don't know Naatu, well, you're going to know it now. And boy, did people, you know, really take to it. It had got a standing ovation there, and people tweeting about it, saying that it was the most electrical performance and the best performance in the Oscars, and it really brought, you know, everything back to life with the energy in that performance. So tell us a little bit about, Arun, about this performance that took place.
So first of all, you know, I love the original score that it has, the original music that it has. It really talks about our music and culture. The number of instruments used in this one is also commendable. Now, of course, this became a viral trend in our country first. Then RRR goes on, to become this global film, and it won Golden Globe Award for this song. And now it's being performed as well. We saw Junior NTR and Ram Charan talk about it. We couldn't, of course, see them on the stage, but you had Rahul Sipligaj and Kala Bhairava, who've sung the original Telugu track. They actually sang the song as well. So now, you know, it's an iconic song. It's already become a global hit as well, and it has gone viral to an altogether different level. We also saw a standing ovation there. Lauren Gottlieb, actor who's also been in a Hindi film, Anybody Can Dance, ABCD, she performed along with all the male dancers, and you had Rahul and Karl performing it live. Of course, if we had Ram Charan and Junior NTR on stage, that could have also been
but they were there in the audience cheering the performance on, and so really amazing to see the way the response that the entire performance got there.
And you know, the competition that Naatu Naatu has is also commendable. You have, it's fighting with applause, and then it is also competing with Hold My Hand, which the music and lyrics are by Lady Gaga and Blood Pop, and those are some big names. And then Rihanna's Lift Me Up as well from Black Panther, and then This Is a Life. And talking about Rihanna, she's also performed Lift Me Up on the stage, but she also got a standing ovation. So, you know, Naatu Naatu is competing with Lady Gaga and Rihanna, Gargi.
That's right. So that performance that took place on stage. So we can just take you through what happened in the Oscars. Also, when Jimmy Kimmel, introduced the Oscars, that also had a Naatu Naatu element to it. Yes, we had the people on stage and they danced him off stage. We can just show that picture of Jimmy Kimmel. This is his last time hosting the Oscars.
Well, there you have Jimmy Kimmel opening the act, and yesterday also he was also talking about the champagne carpet, which has been an addition this time, and he was escorted to the stage with the Naatu Naatu dancers. So Naatu Naatu. You had Deepika Padukone, you have RRR team there, you have Guneet Monga and Kartiki Gonsalves winning for the Elephant Whisperers, and we also had All That Breathes nominated, which is such a huge feat in its own self, and we are tracking it live for you. Elephant Whisperers has also paved a way for documentaries from India. Guneet Monga, as we've told, already won in the past for Period. So that's another documentary that she's done. And if you want to watch The Elephant Whisperers, it's available on the OTT platform. I've loved it. It's around 40 minutes long, and it talks about a couple who takes care of Raghu. And
the baby elephant.
Yeah, it was a baby elephant when Kartiki actually met him for the first time, and as they shot, he grew up as well. So that's quite a cute story, and those visuals.
That's right. Well, we're joined now by Gandhara Prathama, reporter, Voice of America. Thank you so much for joining us on the show, and great morning for us here in India. We're up early watching the Oscars, and already one Oscar in the bag for the Elephant Whisperers. It's been wonderful to see how this has been appreciated by the Academy.
Yes. Hi, Gargi. How are you?
Right. Good morning. Well, good morning here from India. And it's been, again, we're all looking forward to seeing, and my colleague Arun also here with me, but we're looking forward to seeing whether Naatu Naatu is going to win in the Best Original Song category.
Yes. Yes, so Naatu Naatu, which is the blockbuster song from Indian movie RRR, it just performed like about 30 minutes ago, and everybody seems to love it because there's standing ovations and everybody were bopping their head. And in fact, the singer Rahul Sapligan mentioned how he wants the audience to get up and dance. So even though no one really danced, but they were bopping their head, and they still gave him a standing ovation. So I think he got what he asked for. And anyway, this movie, RRR, was directed by S.S. Rajamouli, and the song was composed by M.M. Keeravani, who happens to be the cousin of the director. So a very talented family indeed. Now, this song has a very, very, very high chance of winning the award this year because, it already won the Golden Globe as well as the Critics' Choice Award this year. However, it faces heavy competition from Lady Gaga and Rihanna. Both songs made it to the Billboard Top 100. In fact, I just heard that Lady Gaga performed 10 minutes ago, and Rihanna is performing right now on stage, and people seem to love it.
Yes, so she's also got a standing ovation. But one very interesting thing about this song, Naatu Naatu, is it's not only the award functions that it's being performed at and people are, bobbing their heads, but it's also the streets as well. Wherever it's premiered or wherever the cast goes, the vibe actually changes, and it's, the entire town is painted in Naatu Naatu. Have you seen that around there?
Yeah, so actually, like, the Naatu Naatu is a viral trend sensation in the social media in India as well as in the United States.
Well, I believe.
What do you see on roads? What do you see when the star cast is around, and what's the sense in the international market?
Right. So I've been talking to a lot of passerbys here in Los Angeles, and when we did a live report about Naatu Naatu, they all seem to be very excited about it, and not just the Indian passerby, but there's also other people who said that they love the song. In fact, Hollywood directors also said that they wish this song is going to win tonight, including James Gunn, Edgar Wright, as well as James Cameron, the legendary director of Titanic, as well as Avatar, which is nominated for Best Picture tonight.
Do they know the steps as well? Do they know the choreography? Whosoever you spoke to at LA.
I personally don't know the steps because I'm not a really good dancer. I'm very awkward. But I watched the way Ram Charan as well as M.T. Rama Rao did it on the movie, and it looks really cool, especially when it did the slow motion part. I really loved it, and I think the people here in Los Angeles and Hollywood loved it as well.
Right, and tell us more about the kind of, reception this film has got, and you've spoken about how popular the song is. I believe even on social media, on TikTok, a lot of people, perform the song, and that's how it just picked up and became so popular.
Right. I think it's because of the, energetic groove as well as the dance move. And, we live in a social media world where like dances are being inspired easily across. So even though some netizens are inspired by the dance move, they are recreating their own versions of it because obviously you can't really do the slow motion part. But yet there's so many creative ways that people have been doing it. They've been doing it on the streets. They've been doing it at their homes. They've been doing it on stage. So, it's been a very lovely, lovely experience to watch here in America as well as everywhere around the world.
And the Elephant Whisperers has already won. And what is the chatter on that? You must have spoken to locals there and some film experts or critics there. What is the sense you're picking when it comes to the documentary which has won the Oscar, the Elephant Whisperers?
Right, so it's a big win for India for sure, as the best short documentary was won by The Elephant Whisperer. And it's about Bowman and Belly, who runs a 100-year-old camp who raises baby elephants who stray too far from their families. Now, this film won against two other notable documentaries, which is Fire of Love, no, sorry, not Fire of Love, but Stranger at the Gate and How Do You Measure a Year? But we're still waiting for the other nomination or the other category, which is Best Documentary, which Indian film All That Breathes is nominated for. However, it has tight competition from Fire of Love, which is about two scientists who died in a volcanic explosion, as well as the favorited Navalny, about Russian political figure who was assassinated or attempted, but survived the assassination attempt.
Right. All right. Well, Gandhara, thank you so much for joining us. And in fact, in that category, Navalny has already won the Oscar. So we lost out in that category, but a great win for Elephant Whisperers, and fingers crossed for Best Original Song for RRR.
I'm just memorizing all the Naatu Naatu steps, Gargi, in my head because I'm quite hopeful about this award.
We're going to have you perform right here in the studio.
That might not be possible, but we are absolutely excited, Gargi, and in my head, of course, all those steps.
Right, Deepika Padukone introduced the performance at the Oscars, and she said, if you don't know Naatu, well, you're going to know it now. And boy, it's been appreciated, and people are tweeting about how amazing that performance was, electrifying. While the audience was asked to dance, as the reporter was telling us, they were bopping along, and there was a standing ovation. So with that, we'll slip into a short break and return with more updates. Stay with us.
Celebrates a deeply polarized world where space for disagreement is shrinking, where take it or leave it defines discourse. We take a step back. A debate has many facets, perhaps no one right answer. Left, right and center, conversations that get to the core of the debate. Left, right and center with me, Vishnu Shom, 9 p.m. on NDTV 24/7.
Gadgets 360 is here to help you with all your tech needs.
Gadget 360, Gadget Love.
Gadgets 360, Gadgets Love.
You too can get some gadget love with buying guides, expert reviews, and all the latest news on Gadgets 360.
Debates are essential not just for journalism but for humanity. It ignites our mind, opens it up for counter-opinion. To hear all views, opinion of all hues. Which is why the oldest running debate show on Indian news television is not 23 years old, but young at 23.
इस इनिशिएटिव को मैं अभिनंदन करता हूं कि सच को सच के रूप में पेश करने का उन्होंने साहस दिखाया.
Let us begin the big fight.
This is NDTV. No noise, no shouting, and most importantly, no lies. Our lead story tonight. Big international story India is closely watching it.
Naatu Naatu.
News that informs and inspires.
The news with Sonia Singh. Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
The only side we're on is yours.
In a deeply polarized world where space for disagreement is shrinking, where take it or leave it defines discourse, we take a step back. A debate has many facets, perhaps no one right answer. Left, right and center. Conversations that get to the core of the debate. Left, right and center with me, Vishnu Shobh, 9 p.m. on NDTV 24/7.
Gadgets 360 is here to help you with all your tech needs.
Gadget 360, Gadget Love.
Gadgets 360, Gadgets Love.
You too can get some gadget love with buying guides, expert reviews, and all the latest news on Gadgets 360.
Debates are essential not just for journalism but for humanity. It ignites our mind, opens it up for counter-opinion. To hear all views, opinion of all hues. Which is why the oldest running debate show on Indian news television is not 23 years old, but young at 23.
इस इनिशिएटिव को मैं अभिनंदन करता हूं कि सच को सच के रूप में पेश करने का उन्होंने साहस दिखाया.
So let us begin the big fight.
This is NDTV. No noise, no shouting, and most importantly, no lies. Our lead story tonight. Big international story. India is closely watching it.
Naatu Naatu.
News that informs and inspires.
The news with Sonia Singh. Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
The only side we're on is yours.
In a deeply polarized world where space for disagreement is shrinking, where take it or leave it defines discourse.
Welcome back. Let's get you all the developments from the Oscars, where The Elephant Whisperers has won an Oscar in the short documentary category, directed by Kartiki, Gonsalves and produced by Guneet, Monga. So it won at the 95th Academy Awards in the Best Documentary Short Subject. And also a short while ago, you had the performance of Naatu Naatu on the Oscar stage, introduced by actor Deepika Padukone. So you had that electrifying performance on stage, and it brought the audience to its feet. There was a standing ovation as well, and you had singers Rahul Sipligunj and Kala Bhairava, singing on stage as a troupe of dancers performed the song, and those steps that have become world famous now. Well, let's just listen into what Kala Bhairava had to say on the champagne carpet ahead of that Oscar performance.
We had a number of rehearsals, and I just cannot, tell you how exciting the rehearsals were. Because going by, how we were feeling during the rehearsals, I can only imagine how we're going to feel tonight at the actual event. It's going to be something else. I'm so praying for, everyone to get up and dance. Is that too much? Is that too much to ask? No, yeah, let's do it. Yeah, I think we can do it, and I'd love to see so many of my favorite people, from Hollywood, groove to the song and enjoy the song. What more can I ask for?
My love, this tiger. Tell me more about this tiger. Are you kidding?
Haven't you seen that in RRR?
Yes, it's phenomenal.
Jumped out with me.
Yes, but who made this piece?
I'm wearing Gaurav Gupta. He's one of our amazing designers, a very good friend of mine. So he felt, when we discussed that, it's not going to be us walking the carpet, it's India. So that's why I'm on my Indian attire, tiger being a national animal of India.
That honestly is so special, because truly the representation that the community feels from RRR, the South Asian community, just beaming with pride. I'm so proud of you. How do you feel?
I feel great, surreal, ecstatic. I've always been seeing the carpet on TV, but guess what? I walked that carpet. I'm walking the carpet. It feels amazing. Thank you so much.
So Junior NTR, they're talking about the tiger on his outfit there. And also let's listen into what Ram Charan and his wife Upasana had to say on that champagne carpet.
Love to see how they got their starts. Just so fun. And here now live with us is Ram Charan, star of the international film RRR, which features a rousing Oscar-nominated song tonight. He joins us now live with his beautiful wife Upasana. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you, Indy. Thank you, Vid. Thank you.
And so let's just start off with this history-making nomination. What does it feel like to be representing India?
Absolutely. You said it. We are not just coming as RRR team. We are supporting my composer, who did 250 films, and he needed this. And all of us are just coming as fanboy moments of these energies and the whole the culture of Oscars. For so long, we've been watching it. and coming representing India, it's a responsibility, it's a pressure, and it's excitement at the same time.
It's been a pleasure for us actually seeing you look around, taking it all in, the whole experience. But we have to talk about Naatu Naatu. This is it's become a viral sensation around the world, nominated for Best Original Song. How does it feel to see how it's connected with so many people?
I don't know, it doesn't feel like it's my song or it's our song anymore. It's the people's song.
Yeah.
Different cultures, different age groups have owned this, and they're doing a much better job than what we did, I think. And yeah, they are taking this forward. They brought it to Oscars.
And Upasna, I want to bring you in here. How are your nerves tonight?
I'm here to support Ram, and I'm here to be as part of the RRR family. I am nervous, I am shaking a bit, but this is really amazing to be here.
Absolutely. She's pregnant as well, so I think the baby,
congratulations!
6 months, I think the baby's bringing us so much luck, from Golden Globes to standing with you guys here.
So as you're taking this all in, who are you most excited to see? Is there an actor, a director, or somebody you've always followed?
I'll be lying if I say I have a big list, but to cut short, my favorite for this season, of course, is Tom Cruise, because I had tears in my eyes when I saw Maverick. I appreciate that man for standing tall for so many years, and it's an inspiration as an actor. And of course, Kate Blanchett. I wish she's coming.
I have to say I'm embarrassed with just for a little, because during the commercial breaks, he practices the Naatu Naatu dance, which means dance.
I'm terrible. Can you show me a little bit?
I'll do not the whole thing, but just the last thing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yes, Naatu Naatu. I love it.
We got it. All right,
Are you performing today?
No, you know what? I've not been invited. But what if I do an impromptu thing? I don't think they'll pull me off the stage.
No,
right?
no. You jump
I
up on
think
that
you're
stage.
on it.
We'll be watching.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you. This is just amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. We
Thank you,
appreciate it. Best of luck with everything tonight.
Absolutely. Good luck to you guys.
All right.
All right, well, that Naatu Naatu performance on stage has happened. They didn't pull up Ram Charan, but my colleague Arun also joining us here, who has actually performed the song with Ram Charan on stage.
Yes, and as I said earlier as well, Gargi, I'm just memorizing all the steps because my hopes are really high, and we've seen, Junior NTR, Ram Charan, teacher to so many, and of course I got the privilege to share the stage with Ram Charan, where we danced on this iconic track, Naatu Naatu. Now, of course, we've already got one good news, which is the Elephant Whisperers winning an Oscar, and now all hopes are on Naatu Naatu in the category which it's nominated in. Of course, it's competing with Lady Gaga and Rihanna, Gargi.
That's right, and Lady Rihanna's performance also bringing the audiences to their feet. But to talk more about the India at the Oscars this year, we're joined by Edward Sonnenblick, RRR actor, and L. Ravichander, film critic. First to you, Ravichander, already won Oscar. We've won for the documentary, The Elephant Whisperer. So that's been amazing, and it's great to see a small documentary like that receiving this sort of recognition on the world stage. And it was such a lovely subject as well. A tribal couple bringing up an orphaned elephant.
Oh, yes. I think in a world like ours where we underrate documentaries, it's a great push forward. And what a morning for India to know that it wakes up with the Elephant Whisperers winning an award. And I'm sure nobody wants to talk. Everybody wants to keep their fingers crossed, as they had already done. Everybody's, you almost see a winning streak at the Oscars. I know that's the final certificate that mainstream cinema wants, even in India. And we're all very anxious and hopeful that Naatu Naatu will make it. Naatu Naatu, yes.
Okay, sorry to interrupt. We have the big news coming in, and Naatu Naatu has won the Oscar award, and that is iconic. It is won in the original song category. Absolutely happy as a Hindi film fan, Gargi, and of course, someone who loves dancing. And of course, we've all seen so many people at the global stage as well dancing to Naatu Naatu. And there we have.
That is the breaking news, and we can see the
RRR
team
on the stage, and we saw Naatu Naatu being performed live at the Oscars, and now you have M.M. Keeravani there on the stage, who's composed such an original track with so many instruments. The film, of course, is larger than life, talks about how India has fought against the Britishers and the way these two stars, Junior NTR and Ram Charan, have performed. First, there's all these steps becoming viral, and then taking the global stage by storm. Definitely.
Right. Edward, your reaction? Edward.
I'm crying right now, actually. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely a great feeling. I'm not surprised, but I didn't think hearing it would make me feel so emotional right now. It's just a great feeling. I'm just really proud of India. I'm very proud of this film, and and then Kirwani sir is he's a legend already, and just so happy to see him getting this long overdue recognition globally.
And Edward, you didn't get to dance in the film, of course. You could not, because of course you were playing the other part. But now you will be dancing a lot to Naatu Naatu, right, Edward?
Oh yeah. No, nobody really wants to see me dance. I'm a terrible dancer, but I don't care. I'm gonna be doing this all day today here. And I just want to say too, I'm really happy about the Elephant Whisperers. I'm actually in the mountains of Tamil Nadu right now, where elephants are roaming around shooting for a film, and that also is just a fantastic bit of news. I'm just so happy right now.
That's wonderful to hear. Yes, absolutely. Elephant Whisperers winning that Oscar, amazing for that documentary, and now the big breaking news coming in of Naatu Naatu winning the Oscar for Best Original Song. And Edward, tell us about the success that RRR has seen. While it was only the song that was nominated, at the Oscars, the film has had such an incredible run across the world. So, is it something that surprised you? Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, we all knew making the film that this was special. I mean, first of all, it's an S.S. Rajamouli film. Second of all, it's got this budget, and then it's got this amazing cast. So it was clear that this is going to be successful. But no, we didn't imagine this kind of global phenomenon. I mean, in hindsight, yeah, you can see it was kind of a perfect storm of the timing, and I think Hollywood was finally ready for, and global audiences were finally ready for this kind of emotion and heart in a film.
Roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah, and that's kind of missing in Hollywood. You don't see this kind of just owning the heart. In most films, coming out of Hollywood, there's a lot of kind of self-deprecation and cynicism. But this is something that I think people were really wanting and really ready for, whether they knew it or not.
All right, Ravi Chander, your reaction to this big breaking news of the Oscar for Naatu Naatu?
Let's tell you this: 2008, I was with NDTV celebrating Jai Ho. So I think it's a ho-ho today for India, a double whammy. I don't think this Indian week could have begun on a better note. Winning 2 Oscars, unbelievable. We tried so much for so many years to get a foot in, and today both the avant-garde and the commercial world of Indian cinema has made its statement. I think very often we have a tongue-in-cheek go at the way Indian songs and dances are done as a part of the narrative of Indian cinema. Today it gets recognition. And Kirwani, I would be, if anything about Naatu Naatu will be incomplete without recognizing the brilliance of Kirwani as a music director. Growing in the midst of the likes of Ilayaraja, A.R. Rahman, Kirwani was such a brilliant genre in himself. He had a niche for himself, and I always thought he was a tad underrated in compared to the more successful ones. So come home with the most prestigious award, Kirwani. The entire country is looking forward, and I can't believe what is going to happen at Tollywood when he comes back. I think Kirwani is going to become national. He's going to get more cinema across the globe, across India, definitely from where the bigger money bags will flow. And I think it's also nice to see that 2 stars like Ram Charan and Junior NTR, all that energy with which they're doing the song. I know Junior NTR has a great repute of being a brilliant dancer, Ram Charan joining there, and I think this is a beginning of good news for Ram Charan also, as the family just stock is due to arrive. So great news. I can't but stop saying India started off the day brilliantly. I'm hoping they'll close the day brilliantly with India having to win a test match on its way to the World Cup finals.
And also the
cricket and films, isn't it, Arun?
Absolutely. Two of our biggest passions giving us great news. And of course, you know, it was up against heavyweights like Lady Gaga, Rihanna. And these are some big names. And Naatu Naatu there making a mark in 2023. This is, of course, massive because, you know, last time we were nominated was at least 2 decades ago with Lagan, and this time with RRR going all global. Of course, first it won the Golden Globe Award, and then we had Naatu Naatu.
And the Film Critic Award as well. And now for the song, and again now Naatu Naatu winning the Oscars. That's absolutely wonderful. And even, you know, we were talking about Elephant Whisperers, but let's also say that All That Breathes, just to be nominated was absolutely spectacular. And you know, so that has been great as well. But yes, and great to see, you know, them. We're going to wait to find out more details of that acceptance speech. But great to see them there on stage accepting the Oscars. And, you know, Ravi Chandar, you know, Edward spoke about the you know, about whether he expected this film to be as big as it became, and that he didn't initially, but it somehow, you know, tapped into this mood, this perfect storm of appreciation as well, and also of you know, the kind of energy it brought to the cinemas, and the kind of roller coaster of emotions that it gave all the viewers. And that is something that has perhaps been missing from a lot of you know, these films that have been coming you know, from Hollywood, from the West.
It's a very it's a paradigm that's very different from what we expect from the West. And it's also very different from what we normally would associate with typical music from our cinema. Having said this, yes, it's so energized in the fact that it comes in a world where multi-starrers is not very common. I can understand a multi-starrer coming from Bollywood. I can understand a multi-starrer coming from Kerala. But to get Ram Charan and Junior NTR together itself was a great achievement for RRR. And what is very much more interesting is that Indian filmmakers continue to invest parallelly into their dance and drama. That dance and music is a part of the drama, a part of the storytelling. It's a story in itself within a film, and like in this song, the revolt against the British. It's so and you know, whether the filmmaker or whether Kirwani himself thought it would be cult, you know, the success is never planned to a nice city. It just happens. Sometimes it's serendipitous. And I think nobody, including the makers of the film, either at the cast level or at the crew level, ever imagined that something like this, the pinnacle, will be reached. But the energy, I think, did pitchfork them substantially to where they are today.
And what does this mean now for the film industry back home? Because, you know, while Naatu Naatu won Best Original Song, we've been talking about how the film has been appreciated as well, and, you know, the kind of quality filmmaking that went into it, the editing, etc. So also a big boost for, you know, that end of filmmaking here in India, where editing, cinematography, filming, etc. Everything, isn't it?
Sure. I think, you know, just a while ago, somebody made reference to Lagan, and I think from there, the crew, you know, and there was a time, and a very, very long time at that, when cinema meant the actors and maximum the director. Today, cinematography, photography, choreography are all getting their legitimate space in the making of a complete good film. And yes, South India has already made its name. In fact, films like RRR made big news when Bollywood was going through one of its worst phase. So I think, yes, it's very redeeming, it's very hopeful. And I'm sure today, more and more people will start talking and analyzing Indian cinema from the context of cinematography, from the context of choreography. And that augurs well, because hitherto, we just look at cinema from the perspective of the main actors and the film industry.
Interesting that you mentioned Bollywood here. You know, there's also this debate which has existed, Bollywood versus South. And interestingly, Jimmy Kimmel called RRR a Bollywood film, and that has also created quite a storm. Quite a storm on Twitter as well, because a lot of people are offended and they're like, how could he call this a Bollywood film, whereas it's a Telugu film? So, you know, that's Edward, your reaction.
An Indian film, yes, Edward.
Yeah, that's unfortunate to hear. I didn't see it, but I just heard about it from you now. That's I mean, it's not surprising, unfortunately. But I think as we move forward now, there's going to be a lot more awareness about Indian cinema and the different regions and Bollywood versus Tollywood. It's not all Bollywood. People are learning that. Unfortunately, it didn't get to Jimmy yet, but it will. Certainly now.
That's right. And Ravi Chandra, your reaction to that? Because, you know, in the last couple of years, and as you mentioned, you know, Bollywood going through this really bad phase, and then all these films from the South doing so well. And yes, you know, perhaps we can't blame Jimmy Kimmel, because Bollywood has been, you know, the word associated or the term associated with Indian cinema, but it's a lot more. And hopefully with all the sort of attention that RRR has got, you know, people there will also become more aware of that.
If I were a part of the Naatu Naatu, if I were a part of the RRR group, I'm sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
If I were a part of the RRR group, I'll feel arrived. I won't take amiss to it. I think everyone is a little more excited today, and it's a nice moment. When somebody said this is Bollywood, I think it's a mental space more than division or trying to exclusively hand over the trophy to one or the other. This is Indian cinema. I think today, very interestingly, Indian cinema is merging. And it's very important that we merge talent from the South. It's not very new. For example, South Indian actresses like J.P. Mala, Guneet, Rekha, all of them were from the South. Deepika Padukone herself is not North. She comes from the South. So the emergence of Tollywood as an alternate space of making huge, big cinema, which only the Karan Johars and the Yash Chopras were making hitherto, or the Manmohan Desais were making hitherto, is interesting to see that Tollywood is pushing for legitimate space. Now, this is very important, and the success internationally, not just at the box office, but even among the award-winning space, is an acceptance that this kind of cinema, this kind of scale can no longer be exclusively from one market, call it whatever you want, but has to get more expanded, more expansive, and that is where RRR has come to make a statement. Before RRR, you had Bahubali, which of course had Karan Johar's cooperation, you have Kantara, you have films that in the South that are making international news and have made national news. Therefore, yes, this is a defining moment for the non-exclusivity of Bollywood representing Indian cinema.
Boxing films under different heads, whether that's Hindi film, Bollywood film. People from Hindi film industry don't really like the term Bollywood, and that's what Jimmy Kimmel ended up calling RRR a Bollywood film, which has triggered a lot on Twitter. But definitely, Edward, you know, a proud moment for the entire cast and crew. Last time when they won Golden Globe, could you talk to, you know, any of the cast, the crew? What was their reaction like? I remember we were talking to you when we were talking about Golden Globe last time. Could you touch base with them after that victory or before they went for this one?
Yeah, we were all, you know, in touch a little bit and very excited, obviously. You know, we all feel like, you know, this is just not our victory, you know, it's the whole industry's victory, it's the country's victory. And, you know, it's just obviously a great feeling to be a part of something that is not only loved in its own country, But to have this kind of global, be part of such a global phenomenon, yeah, we love it.
That's right. And the way Team RRR, really went, one is the popularity of the film, as we spoke about, the reason why it appealed perhaps to Western audiences as well. And they were, so blown away with the kind of drama and, revenge and love and friendship and all that. And also, then capping in on that popularity, Naatu Naatu also took off on social media, on TikTok, etc., with people performing. But then the team really went there and pushed the film, marketed it, met so many people there, because there's all that aspect as well when it comes to something like the Oscars, isn't it? Edward, first you, and then I'll ask Ravi Chandra about that.
Yeah, I bet Ravi probably knows more about how the industry works on that side than I do. But clearly, there's a whole process. There's a whole machine that you need to become a part of. And the Triple R team really just struck while the iron was hot. And I think it's been great for the movie. Obviously, it's been great for Indian cinema. I think now there's really no looking back. I think there's going to be a lot of whether or not there were going to be Oscar wins tonight. I think the last few months have really kind of shifted the global awareness of Indian cinema, and that's never going to change.
Right, Ravi Chandra, so your comments about how Team RRR was there, in the US, and we saw them at various events on TV and on shows, etc., and all, this whole lobbying process, which in India we're not so familiar with, but have become over the years.
Yes, I think one is the first time lobbying began with Lagan.
Yes.
Kamal Hassan did it for one of his films, but here what you would see is there was a lot of. They were really energized by self-belief. I think they knew that their product was worth taking seriously. Unlike times when we were overawed by what was happening in the West, and we had let's try it out. It's like Indian cricket coming of age after the World Cup we won in 1983. We suddenly began to have self-belief, and turns that RRR helped us, we really came to realize that yes, we can go on an equal footing, stand up and talk to the Western world and say, please take us seriously, because we are not coming here only with a repute that went back 200, 300 years ago. We are as energized, we are as worth taking seriously as anybody else is in the market today. And here are the results. I think today, today no cinema in the world is a standalone. It is a part of marketing. After all, what is cinema? Cinema is about communicating an idea, communicating a thought. And what greater than if this idea and if this thought reaches out to the maximum number of people? I don't think one needs to be apologetic about it. And the kind of lobbying that goes on with the Oscar is now known to everybody. So I think to meet the challenge by the language and the grammar by which it works is one of the first realizations that a successful filmmaker should have. Full marks to Team RRR for realizing that, working on its pulse, and taking it today, as we would see, to its logical conclusions.
And the overall packaging as well, it was an absolutely pan-India film. You had Ajay Devgan, Alia Bhatt, Ram Charan, Junior NTR, all the international artists as well. So it was quite a film dedicated to the entire nation and catered to the entire nation. Interestingly, Gargi, RRR actually, the concept of RRR or the title actually came from the initials of Junior NTR and Ram Charan and of course Rajamouli himself. So that's how the title really came about. And now we're just slipping into a very short break, Gargi.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And so great day for India at the Oscars, 2 Oscars in the bag. And not to forget all that breeds, even the fact that it was nominated in that documentary category is absolutely wonderful.